Good evening and welcome to TiVi Tuan-san News at 6. My name is Emma Doe. In today's news, Vietnamese radio personality Hanoi Hannah dies at the age of 87. Talks between the United States and Russia over the Syrian ceasefire agreement break down, and a group of scantily clad Australians detained in Malaysia over indecent behaviour. To today's top news, Vietnamese radio personality Hanoi Hannah, whose real name was Jin Thị Ngo, has died at the age of 87. According to US magazine Newsweek, the former radio announcer of Voice of Vietnam passed away at her home in Ho Chi Minh City on Sunday. She was best known for her work during the Vietnam War, when she made English language broadcasts for North Vietnam directed at American troops. Her propaganda broadcasts on Radio Hanoi were aired 3 times a day in an attempt to persuade American GIs to lay down their weapons and go home. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, now known as Ho Chi Minh City, she left her job to be with her husband. Ngo will be buried in Vietnam's southern province of Long An. Caribbean islands are bracing themselves for Hurricane Matthew. The Category 4 storm is bringing torrential rains along with winds reaching 220 kilometers per hour. Haiti, Jamaica, parts of Cuba and the Bahamas are all under hurricane warning. Haitian officials fear the storm could trigger mudslides and floods in the country's hilly villages. Meteorologists say it's likely the storm will progress towards the US state of Florida later in the week. The United States has officially halted talks with Russia over the Syrian ceasefire agreement after the US accused Russia of not standing by its commitments made in a deal in early September. The decision comes after a week of grilling at the United Nations meetings, when the US accused Russian-backed planes of bombing a UN aid convoy in Syria. Russia provides military planes to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's forces, who are currently locked in a battle with rebel fighters. The latest news strikes a blow to diplomatic solutions on how to end the 5.5-year civil war in Syria. The United States has confirmed it has not been contacted by the Philippines about the end of joint marine drills. During a visit to Vietnam last week, Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte announced the military exercises between the two long-standing allies would soon end. In a statement today, the US State Department said it expected the Philippines to live up to the commitments. Since coming to power, President Duterte has indicated he wants to move away from the US alliance and closer with Russia and China, both of which are historic US rivals. Japanese police are investigating the death of 2 elderly patients who were poisoned in a Yokohama City hospital. Police said autopsies showed the patients, both in their late 80s, died as they received an intravenous drip. It's the latest case in a spate of suspicious deaths at the hospital. From July to September this year, 46 other people died on the same hospital floor. While a higher number of seriously ill patients contributed to the toll, the death rate for the period was higher than average. In February this year, a Japanese nursing home worker threw 3 elderly residents off a balcony, while just last month, another worker brutally stabbed 19 residents in a home for the disabled. Abuse of elderly and disabled patients is a growing concern for Japan, where the population is aging rapidly, and aged care workers receive low wages. Kim Kardashian has returned to New York after a terrifying robbery left her shaken in Paris last night. Paris police say 5 masked men dressed in police markings took to the reality TV star's private Paris apartment at around 3 AM local time. 2 men held Kardashian at gunpoint before tying her with packing tape and leaving with $10 million worth of jewellery. Her husband Kanye West abruptly ended his New York performance on the same night to attend the family emergency. Kardashian has been silent on social media since the attack. Now to other news in Vietnam. Vietnamese authorities say they've seized over 300 kilograms of elephant tusks illegally imported from Nigeria. Custom officials at Hanoi International Airport confiscated 309 kilograms of tusks, which reportedly had been flown in from the United Arab Emirates on Saturday. One custom official told news agency DPA that the tusk had been declared as glass and was signed for by a Vietnamese company. On Sunday, Wildlife Trade Monitoring Network Traffic condemned the trade, saying illegal trade in ivory continues to be a major threat to the survival of elephant populations in Africa. Meanwhile, South African Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa is in Vietnam as part of his diplomatic visit to strengthen political, economic and trade relations between the two countries. Ramaphosa arrived in the city of Hanoi on Monday at the invitation of his Vietnamese counterpart. In a statement, his spokesperson said Ramaphosa's visit will explore possible areas of trade and investment to address the trade imbalances between South Africa and Vietnam. Bilateral trade between the two countries has grown significantly in the past year, making Vietnam the fourth largest trading partner of South Africa in the Asian region. Following his visit to Vietnam, Ramaphosa will be in Singapore from Friday to Wednesday. Back to news in Australia. A former Australian of the Year is calling for urgent action on Indigenous suicides. Child health expert Fiona Stanley told ABC News Australia that the government had enough information from previous royal commissions and reports into Indigenous suicides for the government to take action now. Her comments follow after Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull tasked the Health Minister Sussan Ley with holding a summit on suicide prevention in Northern Australia. The Kimberley region in Western Australia leads the world's Indigenous suicide rates. A policy advisor for the Defence Industry Minister Christopher Pyne is among one of 9 Australians locked up in Malaysia for stripping down to their swimmers. Minister Pyne's advisor Jack Walker is shown in a video circulated on social media with his 8 friends at Kuala Lumpur's Formula 1. In the video, Walker and his friends wear swimmers emblazoned with the Malaysian flag, cheering and drinking beer from their shoes. The Malaysian police chief of the area said the group were being held for 4 days, while police investigated them for indecent behaviour and disrespecting the national flag. That's all from TiVi Tuan-san News at 6. I'm Emma Doe, and thank you for your company.